When people think about Saudi Arabia, they think about a young nation or a modern nation, and they forget that the first Saudi state was established in 1744, almost 300 years ago. The state, under the same leadership and under the same principles. The first Saudi state was destroyed in 1818 by the armies of Muhammad Pasha of Egypt, acting on behalf of the Ottoman Turks. And 20 years later, the state re-established itself under the same leadership, under the same principles. In 1881, it was destroyed again through an invasion, and it was able to reconstitute itself 20 years later over the same territory, under the same leadership. I make this point because I don't believe there's another example in history where a nation, a monarchy, was destroyed and from the outside and came back and reconstituted itself under the same leadership over the same territory, not once but twice. And this would not be the case if it didn't enjoy legitimacy and if it didn't have deep roots and a deep connection with its people and with its environment. That's one thing that people sometimes looking at Saudi Arabia have a difficult time understanding. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a country that's united. It's a country that's pragmatic. It's a country that has a sense of proportion and balance. A country that is non-ideological. A country that has no ambitions beyond its borders. We have enough territory. We have enough resources. We have enough people. Our desire is to live in a peaceful, secure region so that we can focus on our internal situation and improve the lot of our people. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's history has been one of change. If you look at the last, since the completion of the third Saudi state in 1932, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's history, the one constant in our history, has been change. And this is another area that people, I believe, fail to fully appreciate. They think of Saudi Arabia as a conservative country that's not susceptible to change. Well, that's wrong. We had life expectancy rates of my father's generation was 37 years old. My younger sister's generation, 70 years. Doubled in one generation. Literacy rates in Saudi Arabia, or illiteracy rates, were 95% during my father's generation. During my younger sister's generation, 100%. In one generation, we abolished illiteracy. Education for women, which was non-existent in 1960, today 55% of college students in my country are women. Huge change. 70 years ago, we were a tribal nation with simple infrastructure. Today, we're a modern nation with a very modern infrastructure. So that's change. We built institutions, the Consultative Council, in the early 90s, 60 members, today 150 members, 30 of them are women. That's change. We adopted new laws, we adopted new regulations, and we moved at our own pace. That's change. And very few societies in the world have undergone the type of change that Saudi Arabia has over the past 60, 70 years. And there's a lot more that we need to do. And this is where we're looking at transforming our country through our Vision 2030, where we want to empower our youth. We want to create a culture of innovation, of entrepreneurship, of investment, both domestic and foreign, where we want to build industries, encourage industries. We want to increase our manufacturing capabilities. We want to open up new areas for investments, whether it's in mining, whether it's in tourism, whether it's in recreation, whether it's in information technology, all of these things. And we intend to do it in partnership with our allies and our partners around the world, including the United Kingdom. There's much that we can learn from others, and we intend to take advantage of that opportunity in a way that is mutually beneficial. And I go back and say, we have no ambitions beyond our borders. Our focus is domestic. We want to improve the living standard of our people. Our vision for the future is change in a positive way, not trying to reclaim lost empires. Somebody else can do that, and we will oppose them. But our objective is to improve the quality of life for our citizens, empower our young, give them the opportunity to pursue their dreams and their hopes and their ambitions, and in the process make us a much stronger, much more vibrant, much richer nation that can deal with the challenges surrounding us. That's who we are. When I look at the issue of the region that we inhabit, we have stalemate in Lebanon. We have a civil war, a war in Syria, where the Syrian people are trying to free themselves from a dictator who is responsible for the murder of 400,000 people and the displacement of 12 million people and the destruction of a country. We have problems in Iraq. We have a war in Yemen. We have Libya. We have terrorism. We have financial issues. We have an Iran that is on a rampage, that has to decide whether it's a revolution or a nation state, that part of it seeks to restore the Persian Empire from thousands of years ago, and another part of it seeks a better future for their people. An Iran that supports terrorism and interferes in the affairs of others. These are the challenges that we're dealing with. And our objective is to deal with them in a way that protects our people, that protects our nation, and that allows us to focus on what is most important to us: the well-being, the welfare, the safety, the future of our citizens. And so the foreign policies that we pursue are, as I mentioned, pragmatic, practical, non-ideological. We have a sense of balance and proportion, and that's how we try to resolve issues. We have alliances all over the world, from the United States to Europe to Asia and in between. We play a major role in the world as the birthplace of Islam. 1.5 billion Muslims pray in the direction of Saudi Arabia, Mecca, 5 times a day, which gives us tremendous responsibility in the Islamic world. We have more than a quarter of the world's oil reserves, which gives us tremendous responsibility in terms of the world economic system. We have one of the largest financial reserves in the world, which gives us tremendous financial responsibility. We are at the crossroads of 3 continents, Asia, Europe, and Africa. 3 of the world's most important passageways are next to us: the Straits of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandab, the Suez Canal. 10% of the world's trade runs through the Red Sea, runs right by Saudi Arabia. And so that makes Saudi Arabia a critical country in the world. And we know this. And with this comes great responsibility. Responsibility to the Islamic world, a responsibility to the financial systems, to the energy markets, a responsibility to our people. And we intend to pursue policies that allow us, hopefully, to calm down the tensions in our region, and that protect our people, and in turn allow us to focus on improving living standards in our country and opportunities for our young.